On today's video, we're going to talk about the 5 things that you need to consider before selling your Toronto property.
The real estate expert, Tom Story.
Tom Story with Royal LePage.
Tom, good to have you in this afternoon. Thank you so much for having me.
Welcome back to the channel. My name is Tom Story. I'm the team leader of the Story team, and we sell real estate in Toronto. But just before we get into today's video, if you like this type of Toronto real estate content, please subscribe to this video and like it, ring the bell, tell all your friends, and share it with everybody. All right, let's get into it. Number 1 is, where are you going? I find a lot of time people want to sell properties, but they haven't actually thought about, okay, well, when it sells, where are they going to go next? And in really hot markets, when you see sale prices in your next door neighbors and your neighborhood, and you're like, wow, maybe it's a good time to sell. You also just have to keep in mind that it's always fairly relative. So if you're selling in a hot market, you're likely buying in a hot market as well. So figure out what your next move is going to look like. I would actually think about where you're going first before you actually consider putting your property on the market. Number 2 is understanding what type of market you are in. There are buyer's markets, there's balanced markets, and there are seller's markets. And the way that we figure out what type of market that we're in is based on a term called months of inventory. So at the end of every single month, depending on where your house or your property is located, we're going to look at how many properties actually sold and how many are still on the market. You then take the active listings divided by the sales, and it will give you a number. Anything under the number 3 is a seller's market. And to put this into context, right now, if there's 3 months of inventory and no new properties came on the market, it would take 3 months for everything to sell out. In sellers markets, price points typically go upwards. In balanced markets, they don't really move a whole lot. And in buyers markets, they typically slowly go down. So know what type of market you are in before you put your property on the market. The third thing to consider is how you're going to transform your property before it hits the market. When a buyer is walking into your property, you want to make sure that they feel like it could be theirs. So this means tidying up, putting away all the family photos, and seriously consider staging. What we've found in our listings that our staged properties on average sell for 5% higher than properties that are not staged. And that means having a professional come in, add to the furniture you already have, or bring in their own furniture, because a staged house isn't necessarily how you live in it, but it's how to make it its biggest, brightest, and most beautiful during that time that your property is for sale. We actually have it sometimes where we stage properties and a seller walks in, they're like, we can't believe this is our house. Well, I don't know how we were living in it beforehand. So staging makes a world of difference. Number 4 is your pre-listing preparation. You want to get the A buyer. The A buyer gives you your price, your deposit, your closing date, and a firm transaction. So this means that if you're selling a house, I would highly recommend getting a pre-home inspection done. That way buyers know exactly what they're offering on, and if there's anything that you need to update before you put your property to the market, at least you now know. And if you own a condo, your version of this is going to be the status certificate. Get that ordered and ready before you go on the market, because any buyers are going to have it reviewed anyways. Might as well make it available. Getting a pre-home inspection and ordering a status certificate are really easy and honestly not that expensive, and will save you a ton of headaches in the future. And last but not least is number 5. So you have to choose the realtor that you want to work with. And I actually think there's 4 things you need to consider when you're hiring a realtor in any market, but in this example specifically in Toronto. Number 1 is, how many properties do they sell every single year? The average agent surprisingly sells under 4 properties per year. Number 2 is, out of the listings that they take every single year, how many actually sell? Because if they take 100 listings but only sell half of them, that's not a very good conversion rate. Most great agents are selling 90 to almost 100% of the listings that they take. Number 3, which I would argue is actually the most important, is what is their list versus sale price ratio? So in the Toronto Real Estate Board statistics that come out every single month, you can tell for different pockets of the city what the average property sold for. So whether it was 98% of asking price, 100%, a little bit over 100%, you can tell what the average is. You want to compare the realtor you're going to work with and figure out what their average is versus the market. You don't want someone that's below average. You want to get someone that knows exactly what they're doing. And the last thing, and this is really important as well, is please, please, please make sure that you hire a full-time realtor. We don't do this for fun. This isn't a job. This is a career for us. This is everything. I'm literally obsessed with this. So there's nothing wrong with the weekend warriors that are doing this on the side, but please hire somebody that does this every single day. Those little things that they know, those golden little nuggets from doing this every single day for a period of time could save you legitimately hundreds of thousands of dollars. Thank you for watching. If there's anything that I missed, please post it below. Also, if you want to book an appointment with me, whether it is a seller consultation, a buyer consultation, or just want to chat about real estate, all the links will be in the description. Thanks so much for watching, and remember, home is where your story begins.